I didn't want people to see me and say, oh yeah, she's just pretty. I had to be 20 pounds less than what I'm supposed to. When you tell somebody, oh, I'm a beauty pageant girl, you know, it definitely create false expectations and at least sidetracked me a little bit because I fell into a big depression.
Welcome again to another I Got an Accent, so what? And today I have a very special friend and guest to the show. You guys might not know her. Her name is Concepcion. But before that, Hennessy, I want our audience to not only subscribe, review, and rate. It's been an amazing 8 episodes, right, producer? 8 episodes. And just the love and the support that you guys have given us, it's really powerful because we know that we're in the right track. So comments, continue giving that love or whatever opinion you guys
Subscribe.
have. Review and rate. Whatever opinion.
And share too.
Share too, that will help. And it does not matter, right? Whether it's positive or negative, we'll get it all. Because here under the sun, we all brothers and sisters. Exactly. But today I have Hennessy Concepcion, and I want to introduce this doll. We call her beautiful frozen princess.
Elsa.
But Hennessy is not only our new office manager here at the JG and G World Properties, and for our amazing company. We're so proud and honored to have you to join us. We go back to more than 15 years, but then I'm going to age myself, and that's not fair. So having said that, she has an amazing curriculum, and today I definitely wanted to talk about a subject that it has to do a lot with beauty pageant, and you come from that industry. Now she's an amazing administrator, entrepreneur, management, HR, CPA, accountant. She has all those degrees, so she's a very smart girl. Yeah. But when I met her, you were in that industry.
Yes.
We became family. That time she used to date my brother. Side note. Then she was really young.
You're proud.
She was really young, so I get to really know who Hennessy is.
Yes.
And I know where you came from. I know your heart. And many people see other aspect of you. But I seen a beautiful flower growing to this beautiful woman. And I cannot be more proud of your journey and where you're going. Not only that, where you heading.
Yes.
Stay tuned because she's going to impact and she's going to do many things, not only for us women, but the whole entire, industry in so many aspects in the entrepreneurship world. So first of all, I want you to let us know how it all started, how your whole entire beauty pageant, because I know you were really young. How young were you when you started?
When I started, I was 7 years old.
7
years old. I was very little.
Yeah, very young too.
Very young.
Very young.
So being so young in that moment, you have a lot of expectations from my parents in this case because, my father is on the beauty industry.
Yes.
So that actually pushed me to stay in that path for a very long time. However, it is a very challenging path that people don't know the struggles that we go through.
Absolutely.
When you're in that industry, especially because they have such an image of you when you tell somebody, oh, I'm a beauty pageant girl, I like to compete, I like to present myself in front of people, but it definitely create false expectations, of what you are and how people perceive you. Yeah. Because there's more than a face, there's more than beauty, It should reflect from within. So it's definitely been a struggle to show who I am and grow and get out of that, comfort zone. For me, it was a comfort zone because I've been, put in that path. It was not necessarily a path that I selected for myself. Yeah. So making my own choices to get out of that path and show, how smart I am and proving people wrong is definitely challenging.
It is, and but it's a beautiful transition that you've done, yes. And I'm very proud for you for that because, actually, her father is an amazing stylist, yes. Hairdresser. I know Tony Concepcion for a long yes. time. I was in my 20s. Oh, well, not a long time, actually. I don't want to age myself.
He did most of your greatest looks.
Actually. the original of the short hair is Tony
Yes,
Concepcion. And
yes.
actually, I remember every time I sidetrack, he's like, Gia, stay in your lane, your short hair, shortcut. And he's now in Puerto Rico, you
Yeah.
know, and I've been missing him he's been there for a long time.
Yes.
But he was actually, when I had Gianfranco, I was 26 years old. That's when I cut my hair. And so many people ask me, will you go back? I'm like, no, absolutely
And
not.
I applaud you for that. You know, it takes courage to, step out of your shell and just be different.
Mm-hmm.
You know, not many people have that courage to be strong enough and just pull something off like that, because some people see it off. When they see a woman
Absolutely.
with short hair, they're like, you know what? Grow it, And it's like, no, I love my hair, It's
don't-
edgy. It's who I am and what represents me. So it's
Yeah.
definitely nice that.
Become part of me, actually.
Exactly.
It pushed me to be a better self, a better part of myself, because I used to be very stereotype, what people expected from me. And actually, when I cut my hair, actually, my life changed in many aspects that I had to come and show up into, the strong woman that I know I was, and I always
Right.
put it in the back burner.
Yeah.
But not about me, about you. Beauty pageant,
Yes.
so many years. She's been in Nuestra Belleza Latina, that was from
Nuestra
Miami.
Belleza Latina, Miss Mundo de Puerto Rico.
Miss Mundo Puerto Rico.
Miss
what else?
Universe Puerto Rico.
Miss Universe Puerto Rico, guys. Her resume is long.
Yes, Miss Globe Puerto Rico. I did place first finalist for the most important ones. So that's like one of my biggest accomplishments.
It has.
However, it was the most stressful moments of my life. You do have to give up a lot, which sometimes it pushes you to have a false identity. And this is hard to say. And I say it and, I get goosebumps because it took me a lot of time for me to figure out who I really was outside of the pageant industry. Because I closed this door for me when it was 2017. My last pageant was Miss Universe Puerto Rico.
Yes, I remember that contest.
Yes. You actually sponsored me for that contest, so that was pretty nice. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Now I tell you in person because we were chatting online, but so it was really hard for me to get my identity and who I was and what I wanted to present. I had so many high expectations from the public. Being on the channel, I was in Telemundo working for them for a long time as well. It definitely sidetracked me a little bit because I felt into a big depression
Wow.
that I don't talk about because of that. And it was a moment in my life where I was struggling because it definitely make you more insecure. People, see beauty pageant girls all the time on that stage and they think, oh, you know what? They don't do anything. They just stand there and look pretty, and there's so much that goes into it. I actually stopped working for Miss Universe Puerto Rico, and I found like more than $20,000 in sponsorship myself because my manager quit on me on the middle of the competition. So I had to do multiple things at the same time to make sure that, it didn't affect my participation. So, but on the other side, what was meant to break me gave me the strength to mold it into what I am today. I feel like if it wasn't because of those hard experiences, because I was not only, depriving myself from eating, sleeping, training 24/7. I didn't rest. I ran 2 times a day, in the morning, in the afternoon. So I fell into big depressions. I was getting bold because of the stress, because of how intense, the public press was and everything. So it was definitely strong. Now, however, I do thank God I went through those experiences because I was telling, my dad the other day that I do want to impact, women, little children, that are the same as me, that are put into something they don't want to and then find their own voice and then mold it into something better. So that's where I found my path. I didn't want to be just beauty. Like I didn't want people to see me and say, oh yeah, she's just pretty and that's it. I did want it to, show that beauty comes from within and also, how you feed up from the energy of the people that surround you and what you do for that people and what you do for that community. So I decided to go for what I like. I did learn that I liked managing and I liked numbers and I liked managing money. So I started seeking for what kind of studies did I want to pursue, because I did stop studying too, because I was traveling all over the world, not only for the pageants, but also modeling. So I did stop my studies, and then I decided, I was like, you know what? My dad is going to kill me for this. Sorry, Dad, I love you. But I don't care. I want to be an accountant. You know, that's something that I really want to do. So I stopped everything, and people like judge me and criticize me. They're like, you're crazy. You know, you have contracts. You're on billboards. You are, you know, on the public eye, and you're stopping all of that just because of a rage, because you want to work with numbers. Well, you know what? You're not going to be successful.
Wow.
So, you know, that actually motivated me to keep on. And that's why you saw how off I was from social media for such a long time.
Many years.
For many years. But it was because I was preparing myself to show and prove these people that I can be an entrepreneur, that I can have my licenses, you know, that I can do it. Not only because I'm a woman and I'm a boss, but because, you know, I can.
Absolutely.
So it's definitely been a journey, and now I can say, you know, I have my bachelor's degree, I have my bookkeeping license, I have all of the certifications, and what makes me most proud is I did it.
You did.
You know, when I was in the middle of a collapse, I stopped and I said, you know what, I have to do it for myself, and do what makes me happy, and learn how to say no. Because for so long I was trying to please people. And everything was what people said, what my manager said, what my dad said, what my hairstylist said, what didn't have no identity. So it took me a lot of years to gain my confidence. It took me a lot of years to, you know, prepare for what I really wanted, which is this profession. And just, you know, for people to see me as somebody secure that knows what they want. And because that's what I want to feel, you know. So now I feel like I'm in that stage where, you know, I don't need anyone's approval. I'm secure of myself, of what I have to give to others, you know, and I'm proud of myself. It took me a long time to say this, you know, because I was working hard for it, but I'm proud.
And I'm proud too.
Yeah.
I'm proud because I've been watching this girl from the side and all those struggles that you went through. I saw that coming for you because your dad did such a good job to prepare you for something that actually I think it was more like Tony's dream.
It was my dad's dream 100%.
That was her pride and joy. Hennessy's going to be this, Hennessy going to be that. And you see this girl pleasing her father, and then you see life as it goes. And a lot of time us as parents have to be so careful because what we think is the best thing for our kids, sometimes it can break them or it can make them. In your case, I think it made you.
Yeah.
I remember you having a dark hair because that's what her image was, having a caramel color. And now seeing you such a rebel because now she's like this, I call her our gothic ice doll queen.
I love that.
I love this dark in you. But that is your survivalship persona.
Yeah.
This girl, not for nothing, and Tony, I'm sure you're probably going to understand me in that sense. But this girl had such a rigid regiment. Like everybody here in Orlando knew who was Hennessy is. Not to tell you so much hate too from the industry. Yes, hate. Because this girl was very hated. I don't have no issue to say because this is my show and I can say it.
Yeah.
Less qualified girls. But that made you to who you are today. Where those girls, they won those crowns, but look at where they're at now.
Oh, and you won't believe what I went through with those girls.
I know. So a lot of these pageants were paid for. They were pushed by other people. So my next question is the body image in the industry. Because I want to paint a picture for you. And now that I'm a mother of a 4-year-old, you see life in the different perspective. Because, again, we can make our daughters and we can break them, you know, in what we push and we want for them rather than navigate what is their interest. And this body image of, actually, they did hot year because we talked about, I remember her, she needs to do her nose, she needs to do boobs, she needs to do all that. I remember her father talking about this. And I was like, what happened with her beauty within herself? What were they waiting for her? What they wanted it? And you always, the one thing that you always never had an issue is you carry yourself very well. And you're a great communicator. Like, that's something that cannot be taught.
Yeah.
Those girls might look cute and pretty, and they created what the image and the industry wanted, but what is in here? Can you carry yourself? Can you carry the legacy of whatever this agency is thinking about you? So, yeah, they're looking for this person with this body image. Then the girl, somebody else buy their place. Then this girl end up not winning. And then what? The sacrifices, the torture that you have to go through to not even guarantee that. And then I think these ladies and these girls get devastated. And that's why I think body image is so important. That's the next thing I want you to dive on, because we have that body beauty. This lady that she killed herself not that long ago, that she threw herself from the 25th floor, something like that she was a lawyer, and she won Miss
Miss USA.
Miss USA, beautiful woman, like makes beautiful black girl, and still
Very smart.
and still whatever people were bullying her, and because we don't know what those struggles these ladies go through, she was not strong enough to survive it. So a lot of time is what we expect and society expect from you, but we forget the human and what you bring. Even though what is your height?
5'7.5", 5'8".
5'7", whatever they expect, skinny, beautiful, but it's what the judge want. So you are using these people like guinea pigs sometimes. So how is body image for you now, and how was for the industry, and have that impacted you?
Yeah, I'm gonna start how it was for me then. This is an emotional subject for me because I did struggle with body image for such a long time.
Wow.
The industry expected me to be 110 pounds. I am a tall girl, so my healthy weight is 130. So I had to be 20 pounds less than what, I'm supposed to be in my healthy weight. So not only for TV and media, but also for these beauty pageants. So it was definitely a struggle. Not only that, but the community, the beauty community is so harsh. I saw pictures of myself going around social media. A lot of people bullying me and criticizing me because I'm squared, or, well, in that moment, I didn't have the best flattering image. So, yeah, I cried over that for many times. And I actually thought, you know what, I should do myself a BBL and just, I'm sorry, the heck with this.
Wow.
But I didn't do it because I wanted to make the results of myself and enjoy the process. But definitely it's been a controversial subject for my life for many years. Especially, like I said, my parents always had like separate meals for me than the whole family. So it's always been a struggle. I know they did it with their best intentions. However, it did affect me as a person.
Wow.
And it's something that I'm still trying, I told you my struggle, so I'm still trying to overcome. But I feel like, we should be normalizing the fact that, there's multiple women with different body shape and sizes. Not only that, but because, like you said, kids, you want to, tell your kids, you know what, you are okay the way you are. I love you, and, image shouldn't be, the principal fact why people, you attract people or why people want to communicate with you. It's not important. What's important was in here, and what you want to portray to people, and, and what you are going to do with yourself rather than what you look like or what your body looks like, or if I have a chicho, or if you don't have boobs, or, that's something that, should be done with. And the industry per se is very tough when it comes to that. They say that, they're trying to normalize body image. However, it's still like that.
Still.
And it's not going to break from that.
Still. We have an episode coming on that. Not that long. And for those of you that are in the body industry and that, beauty industry, my bad, it's time to make a stop and understand that these women are not a robot. They're humans. They have feelings.
I felt like a hanger, to be honest with you.
Yeah, they're not objects. And a lot of times that's why we're using them. They need to fit this mold. And if you don't, we discard you, even though if you have the willpower. And we've seen kind of improvement. You see plus size model, and you see, so many women that have come across and put a mark in themselves. But I think it's up to us women us, each individual, to make a difference. That there's not a perfect body size when we're all different, and we all, not only what you said here, but over here.
Yeah.
Because we have feelings,
Yeah.
you know, and that's something that we cannot oppress, because it does distort something in that body image of that woman that might affect you in the future to be, you know, to have your partner, to have children, and everybody that's around you. So we have to make sure that we don't, I don't know why my mind come get people sick, because you guys didn't come like that.
Exactly.
So the industry get you sick in that sense to make you feel that there's something wrong with you.
Yeah.
At the contrary.
Yeah.
Should be all the way around.
Oh, you don't know how much I beat myself down for that. So
Wow.
definitely agree with that.
Any regrets and sacrifices in that industry that maybe you thought it was normal, but you still have issue dealing with in today's day? How many years has it been? Because I know the last time you were in Miss Universe for Puerto Rico, correct? Was it how long?
2017.
2017. So 5-6 years
Yeah.
ago. So that you being out. Any of those habits that you got that the industry require from you that have affected you? Because there's sacrifices and you still deal with those.
I do. I still struggle with eating habits. I think that's like one of like the biggest one for me. I do try to eat the healthiest I can. However, sometimes I find myself going back, and that's totally normal because I lived there for so many years in that mindset that I look at myself and I'm like, oh, you look so ugly today. Like, what are you doing? What are you wearing? Change your shirt, change your clothes, change. Because it does traumatize you, you know? So that's definitely something that I'm still struggling with and I'm still working with. I do want to be a healthy person. I am like 30 pounds over, you know, when I competed. So I'm definitely accepting that. You know, I'm a human. You get to live yourself now the way you want to and accordingly to what makes you happy.
Your DNA.
Yeah.
You cannot go against that.
Girl.
And not only that, I mean, Tony, I love you, but I'm so proud of your daughter and the progress here. Everything comes in sense because I know you grew up in Christian values.
Yes.
It has been a big core on you. And we talked about it.
Yeah.
You'll see a new Hennessy's coming and impacting women around ourselves. But I remember this girl was like, oh my God, I remember I used to do my hair, and she was a Saturday morning at 9 a.m., tip-top, high heels, this, she had to match. And if she had something off, the father was like, Hennessy, what's this? Blah, blah, blah.
Go, change your lipstick.
But again, you know, it's what our parents think is best for us. But then at the same time, that pain and those things that you went through made you who you are.
Yeah.
And not even to mention how it is to be born in a Puerto Rican household and your parents eating chuleta, arroz con guandule, tostones, mofongo, and you were eating what?
Like
A dry piece of...
espinaca, spinach.
With chicken.
With chicken.
That is torture, guys. The family going on vacation. Order me this mofongo, tostones, fry, alcapurria, and this poor lady, girl, on bar, lettuce.
Bars, shakes, lettuce.
We laugh about it, but it's a reality.
Yeah.
And I think you are blessed that you're a strong girl because of the values that you have grown into. But imagine anybody that's not as strong as you, that they get caught up on that. And not to mention that the beauty industry is such a short industry. So I even see them, and I'm sorry that I have to relate this, but since I'm a mom, it's basically like a used diaper. After 27, you're old.
You're done.
You're done. You prepare yourself for all these things.
Oh, an agency told me that. After Miss Universe Puerto Rico, they're like, oh, yeah, so how old are you? I'm like, yes, I'm 28. You look very young, but you're too old for the industry already. And I was like, I stayed like this. I'm like, what do you mean too old? Because I look younger than you.
And who determines that?
Exactly.
Like, I want to know who determines you're too old, you're this, you know, not knowing again. And they said, you look good, but still they did not give you that opportunity, you know? But again, God has other plans for us. And I think your career and your life is just getting started because there's more for you. I think even though that strict regime and that so much, you know, things and you're expected to be in this perfect box, I think it helped you to be what's coming for you in the future. And I'm so hopeful, and I can see it, what it's in it for you. And you're still going through your process because it's not done. I know you're in the middle of a process right now. But that's what life is. You know, what does not kills you
Makes you stronger.
makes you stronger. And I think that shaped you to be that disciplined, but also created many other habits within you. And I think the most beautiful thing is your intelligence. Again, I've seen these other women that I have win, and, you know, good for them. And that must be an amazing satisfaction. But then what?
Exactly.
Then you finish that, they discard you. So like my correlation with like a used diaper is like, yeah, after your time passed, then you forget that these women are human, and then what it's in it. And I think those are corrections that the industry needs to do for women body image that is so important and affects so many women and so many of us. Is what people see. And then it's, if you see their habit that keeps repeating, and we don't stop it, and it's up to us, because how they treat you is like if you have many other life, and this is your only youth and your only life that you're giving away for somebody to tell you how you're supposed to look, how you're supposed to walk, how you're supposed to dress, how you're supposed to communicate, and on top of that, look flawless.
Feeling nauseous and having headaches because you're too dehydrated.
Now, my question is, how human is that? Are we really going into what is to be human? What do you feel? And the majority, whatever you guys sporting, whether it's a bathing suit, it's just a really low percentage that can actually fit on that. How about the rest of the world?
Exactly.
That's another subject for another time.
Exactly.
I want to know, what's a good life lesson you have learned and took that you have carried into your career now, and that has changed you who you are today?
That's a good question. I always say that, well, this is my motto now. I didn't think like this 3 years ago, but it's definitely developed. I used to believe that, you know, things that happen were not meant to happen. Now I do believe now that things that happen are meant to happen for a reason.
Yeah.
And that always God, you know, has a purpose.
Absolutely.
In every single transition or decision or situation that goes through my life. And I know that right as it is right now, I'm going through a transition, but it's because I know that God has a bigger purpose.
Amen.
So in every decision that I take, it's like, you know what, this is happening to me. However, you see how strong I am despite what I'm going through. It's because God is guiding me all the way.
Absolutely.
So I always try to keep that connection with God, you know, and not lose focus and sight that, you know what, I'm going through this. I know it's strong, but I know that God is not going to give me battles that I can't handle.
Absolutely.
So I got to rise up stronger. You know, I always put that song. That's something that I got to rise up. And that's just what keeps me going.
You see, and she's also a singer. I forgot about that. But she has a really nice voice.
Yeah, thank you.
For all the producers out there.
Well, you can follow me on Instagram.
Yes. Listen, it's a nice subject, but the change starts with us. The change, I think it starts even with you. You know, and I've seen that change to tell the industry I went through it. I'm a survivor, but I think if you don't do nothing to be a spokesperson on that, there's so many other little girls that are going through changes that they're not might be as strong as you are. And like you said, I do think that there's purpose in you. I have no doubt about that. And there's a bigger calling, and that's why you're going through the transitions that you go. Somebody told me once that the bigger the pain and the bigger the struggle is the bigger calling and transitions we have in our life.
Yeah.
I have one last question I was not going to tell you, or ask you, rather. I told that my producer, no, I don't want to ask her that. It's so cheesy. But I feel like I have to. I have to because I love your parents, and your parents are your parents.
Yeah.
And I know they wish best, even though our parents sometimes, by wishing the best, they don't know they mark us. What will you tell that young Genesis?
I will tell young Genesis that you have to look back and forgive. I've been working on my forgiveness for many years. It's definitely been hard because I was deprived many times from making my own choices and taking my own voice. So I will definitely say, you know what, Genesis, you are going to be okay. Learn to forgive, move on. God has a purpose. And continue. Because I wish somebody would have looked back and say, you know what, everything is going to be okay. But you learn through experiences. You don't learn by knowledge, by knowing, what's going to happen. So that's definitely what I will tell young Genesis.
But she still had to go through that.
Yep.
To be the bigger fighter that she's going to be now.
Yep.
Thank you. I know how sensitive this subject is.
That's why I did it, because I love you.
I know. She's doing this for me.
And I wanted to, like I told you, it's something that has to get out there.
Yeah.
And I do want to impact those people from the community that we both know too, that are going through this right now.
Absolutely. And I think I want her to be that. I want her to be that wrecking force that pushes you to be more outspoken to the struggles that you had, the issues that you have faced with decisions and things that have been put up on your path that have marked you, because it needs to. And I actually, it's funny because before we started this interview, I told her, this is not your regular interview that you have to look like a perfect doll. We want to be human.
Exactly.
We want to feel you. And I know this is just the beginning of you being that wrecking force, or that force to be reckoned. Ha! I got an accent, so what? To impact many women, to impact, does not matter the age, does not matter where you are in life, but that somebody can relate to you and you say, I struggle with this. I struggle with body images. I struggle because maybe I had an abusive partner that I was not his perfect image. Maybe I have my parents and my mom that told me that I had to look like a perfect princess, and I just wanted to be in sport. With comfortable clothes and messed up hair.
Yes.
And that is who you are, and to embrace you and take out the beauty that is in you. Not what is the outside, what is really valuable. Because all this is going to get old, wrinkly, Botox out, and this is natural.
I can't.
I just discovered myself.
Listen, but
if we don't go like that, it's not Gia.
Exactly.
And I know this will be a force to go beyond that, to have acceptance with each other, to accept each other's imperfection with love. One thing is acceptance, and one thing is true love. I love you for who you are. I might know this book, but I want to know who you are, what moves you, what is your message, and how can we impact others. So thank you for being vulnerable. She did it because we haven't seen for a long time. But I've always have you here. And it's beautiful how God works, and he brought her back to me. And I remember when our staff told me, oh, we hire Hennessy Concepcion. I'm like, is that my Hennessy's Concepcion? I was like, God, show me what is it that you want with this girl back in my life. And it's been a short couple weeks, and it's beautiful what I see in the future for us and the women that we're going to be able to impact. Totally different, totally generations, but with one purpose, and living a life with purpose and impacting those around us.
Yes.
Again, my amazing people, my production team over here. Love you guys. Been a couple weeks since I haven't seen you guys. But again, don't forget, because they're going to kill me, to subscribe, review, rate, comment, put a little, love there, or hate, doesn't matter. Whatever you put, you become my fan. Love you, my family. See you in the next episode.
See ya.